Do you ever be around or come in contact with some successful people that you truly admire? You listen to them on a podcast all day, or you watch them on YouTube, or you may even go to their live events, and it's just something about when they're talking to you and just something about when they're speaking to you, you're like, man, this person not just is amazing, but also super successful. And you're like, what is it? What is it about that person that makes me want to listen to their podcast, that make me want to open their email, that makes me want to subscribe to their YouTube channel? What is it about that person that make them so successful? And I ponder that question so many times in my business because I believe success leave clues. And because success leave clues, today I want to tell you about what it requires, in my opinion, to build wealth. What it required to be successful, what it required to have a life of impact. And some of you are listening to this because you are looking to leave a legacy. You want to create this dynasty for your family. You're listening to this because you are tired of what the mundane way of life is, and you want to transform. You want to reprogram your mind, your belief system, so you too can have that same aura. You too can also, someone will be listening to your podcast, your audio, reading your books, and saying the same things about you. You want to build that authority. You want to build that credibility. And I want to take a time during this space to talk about and help you figure out, what is it? How do we build the success, the wealth that we desire, that we may see others have? Let me say this, is other success is more an inspiration, not a comparison. So let me just kind of throw that out there. When I talk about success, I'm not talking about you're comparing yourself to say, oh, they're further ahead of me and I'm here. You're comparing yourself to say, listen, I'm inspired by what this person said. I'm inspired by what Eric Thomas said. I'm inspired by what Marlon Golden said. I'm inspired by what this person said. I'm inspired by what Sherry Summers said. And I want one day to be able to look at my account and see a couple of zeros in that in for my hard work. I want one day to look at my home and says, I created this, and God give me the ability, the wisdom, the knowledge to be able to do this. So whatever the definition, whatever the desire of your wealth creation look like, you want to be able to go back in time and say to yourself, you know what? I did good. I am grateful for God allowing me to be able to create what I want. And that's what I want to dive into today, that what is the one secret? And someone asked me that on a podcast, like, what is the one secret do you believe, or the one principle do you believe that create wealth? Now, keep in mind, I have a whole $1 million mindset course that I go dive deeper in this, and you can find it in the description, because it's a whole audio on literally the mindset of a millionaire. And that's for me studying so many different millionaires and investing millions of dollars in in my own personal coaching and personal development. Still have a coach to this day that I have been researching and following and learn from. All my coaches that I invested in, they also are millionaires themselves. So I don't even invest in a coach unless they already have the amount of money that I want to make. So let's just throw that out there, right? So today I want to talk about what is a one ingredients, because someone asked me that on a podcast, and I was like, man, I want to share it here. I want to share the one ingredients that I think, when I say ingredients, I'm talking about principle. And if you know anything about principle, is something that means has to be true. If you follow this principle, you will get this result. If you follow 1+1, it will always equal 2. No matter how you flip the 1+1, 2+3, it will always be 5, right? 3+2 will always be 5, no matter what. That's a principle, right? So what does this one principle when it comes to building wealth, what is it, and what does that look like? And it started with me believing that, number one, wealth is possible. Let me just throw that out there. Wealth is possible. And number two, you first have to define what wealth is for you. And I said that like 2 minutes ago. Like, you have to define what is wealth for you. Because wealth look different for everyone. For everyone. Some people like being at 400,000 and say, yep, that's enough. That's me. I'm comfortable there. Some people like $1 million. Some people like $15 million, right? Everybody have their wealth goal that they're getting to. And that's okay. And that's great. So in this conversation I want to have with you in a few minutes that I have left, I want to talk with you about the principle, the one principle that I believe 100% with all my soul, all my beings, that I literally tell my clients, I literally use it myself. My clients has used it to build their own financial wealth creation, and I'm going to share this with you today. And also, I took some notes. I love taking notes. I love, 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 love taking notes in my book. I love. Are you guys journal? Put a. Let me know if you journal. If you love to journal. Um, if you love to journal, because I love writing. I love journaling in my putting in my journals. I love writing in there. All right. So, coming from someone who's from another country, was born in another country, and I used to hear about coming to America, and that you have to come to America because it's the land of the free, and there's wealth, and it's a pot of gold, and all that jazz. And when I was in Jamaica, I would literally say, "Oh my God, I can't wait for God to bless me to come to America," because I just hear about this foreign land and how beautiful the land is, and then when people return from America to Jamaica, where I was born, I used to be like, "Oh my God, they just look so rich. They have on the best outfits and the best clothes," and I was like, "My goodness, I cannot wait. That's gonna be me one day, right?" Because I'm living my life vicariously through them, through their eyes, the people who visit America then came to Jamaica, and I'm like, oh my gosh, my aunts and my cousins and all them would come down, and they had in my mind they had an accent, right? Not me having an accent. They had an accent. And I'm like, oh my gosh, just cannot wait. So when God blessed me with the opportunity to land in America, I was just going to take complete advantage of it, because I want to create the wealth that I saw when I was a child. Okay. I didn't know anything about racism. I didn't know anything about none of that stuff. All I wanted to create that wealth. So I didn't even think about anything that was outside the realm of that. I was more about, okay, they did it. I can do it. Okay. And that was not the case. I learned that you have to have 10 jobs. You have to have 10 jobs. If you're talking about creating wealth, you have 10 jobs, and you still don't even create real wealth with 10 jobs, because you just leave you tired and burn out. And even if you say, okay, I need a job. Okay, so the society told us to go to college. We go to college, we get this debt. And even when we get this debt, even if we get the title, because some of us are just chasing title, right? I have this shameless plug. I have this challenge that I said, credibility cash flow challenge, where we tell you don't need another credential, you need credibility. But in this case, people are just chasing credentials, so the credential make them seem rich. Right? You know, some people like that, they have great credential, but they're broke, right? So the credential makes them seem rich. So I wanted that. So I said, I wanted credentials. I want to do a lawyer, a doctor, police officer, whatever. Matter of fact, I chased that police dream. But again, it led me to debt. It led me to it was unrealistic. The story that was sold to me was unrealistic. Now that I see that. So I was further away from my debt than I anticipated. And it's not until I had my rock bottom moments. My rock bottom moments is graduated from college later than I wanted to graduate, because I didn't finish all the courses I needed to finish. My rock bottom moment is not until went through a divorce, or my rock bottom moment is feeling like I should be further ahead and I wasn't. Let me know if you can relate in the chat. And the more I'm telling you this, is the more I'm feeling what I'm saying. Okay. So hitting these rock bottom moments for me was not great. But I'm gonna tell you something. I am grateful for every rock bottom moment. You know why? Because and I think rock bottom is a require for mountaintop. Rock bottom is a require for wealth. I think pain is a requirement for wealth. Okay? Write that down. Pain is a requirement for wealth because it pushes you and says, I have nowhere else to go but up from here. I'm already at the bottom. So there's nowhere else. Oh, Jesus. You need to send this to somebody that need to hear it today. There's nowhere else for me to go. I'm already at the bottom. So for me, I wasn't even thinking. I was in my head. In my low vibration head, my thoughts were, I'm too far away from wealth to even be thinking about making wealth. I'm just trying to pay a light bill. I'm just trying to get through paying the mortgage or the rent at that time because I was in college at that time. I'm just too far away from that. I was a girl that got the credit card because you get a free T-shirt. I was that girl. My bad. Yeah. Then a phone came out and I said, okay, I'm going to pay my phone bill. I'm going to get a phone because I'm in college and not going to pay the phone bill. And I got to call my mom, borrow money from my mom. Yep, that was embarrassing. Okay, anybody can relate? Okay. All right, so we're here. We're here now. So what changed? What changed? How did I make the shift? How did I make the shift to becoming one of the most successful women in insurance and finance? How did I make the shift to appearing on NBCs and all these other things that I've done, Ultimate Agent Tour, all this stuff, helping thousands of women use my formula, my master enrollment formula to grow their business? How did we get from that to building my first home? Like, how do we get to leaving my $42,000 a year job to making $42,000 per month, and then moving to from 6 figures to 7 figures and so on and so forth? What shifted? How did that change occur? That's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about, we know that pain is a requirement for wealth, and there's a lot of people that's not willing to go through the pain, right? And now when I go through things that are painful, I just know, okay, it's a requirement. I hope somebody gonna get that later. Oh, it's a requirement. So now I don't look at pain as being pain. I look at pain as, oh, this is part of the process. I'm on the right track. Can I get an amen in the chat? Right? I'm on the right track. I'm not crazy. I no longer saying like, Lord, why is this happening to me? I kind of know that I'm mature now. Right? That's what happened when you're in your 40s. You're mature now to know that you're not going through this in vain. There's a reason behind this. This is required for the next thing. Like, let me just say this. Like, I don't even want to be around people who has not been through something. Because they don't have any survival skills. They're not emotionally intelligent. I went left, but stay with me. I want people who have been through something and learn from it and understand why it was required. So the next time they go through something, they can be an advocate. They can speak up. They can be the voice for the voiceless. I like those type of people. Matter of fact, I look for those type of people when I'm investing in my coaching program. When I'm investing in coaching with other people in masterminds and stuff, I look for those type of people. All right. So I look for those type of people that have my future self. If that makes sense. I digress. So once I hit the pain, I know, oh, okay, it's just a redirect. Pain to me is a redirection for you to go in another way so you can increase wealth. Oh, I couldn't do it this way. Is that what you were showing me? Okay, that won't work. Okay, let me just do it this way. And so I understand how pain works. So I understand. So I'm now more emotionally intelligent for the next level of where God is taking me. So now that I understand that pain is also part of wealth, I now have to, for me to understand that, I had to start thinking a different way. Because there's nobody I know that achieve wealth without some type of pain. Even if you are born into wealth, there's still you still go through some animosity. You still, no matter how much I prepare a table for my son, a legacy for my son, he's going to go through his own pain. Everybody has their own pain, no matter what, no matter, regardless of what you are born to do, there will be some type of pain with it. And if you're not willing to accept what that pain that comes with it, you're just not willing to get the wealth that desire to come with it. Okay. Okay. All right. So once I got my area of awareness, that's the awareness that I walked in. And when I started walking in that type of awareness and realized that, how did I get there? How did I get there? How did I become aware of that? I became aware of that based on realizing that I was thinking in a higher level. I was thinking more in a mature level. I was thinking I had to go to a highest level of way of thinking. And I started talking with looking at people I admire, and they were, every time I see them, whether it's in person or on a podcast, no matter what trials or tribulation they went through, it just seemed like what they had in common, they were always full of energy. They were always filled of, have you ever been to a Tony Robbins event? Like, man, they were always filled of energy. Everyone that I admire in my team, that look like my future self, let me say that, were full of energy. So I realized wealth is measured in high energy. Say it again. Wealth is measured in high energy. So one of the things I teach in my credibility cash flow challenge, it's a 5-day challenge teaching you how to use your credibility to create cash flow. One thing I teach in there is watching your energy. So what is energy? And there's another whole video I have on that. Energy is your thoughts, your awareness, your actions, your feelings. All of that adds up to become what we call your energy. So there is something to say about a person who's successful. They're normally in high energy, and they do everything with high value, high vibration, right? Everything, their thoughts, their words, the things that they say. You're like, good morning, hi, how are you? And I'm saying that, how I know this well is because clients would sign up with me just for my energy. Y'all gonna get that later. You got it? Okay, good. Just because of my energy, because I am a natural, positive, happy energy person. So, and that was before wealth creation was created. I, so I walk in a vibration of high energy, and naturally wealth came. Hold up. Money follows energy. So if let's say you're okay. Let me say this. Hold on. I gotta watch what I'm saying because I sometimes these videos go all these places, you don't know where they go. So I went to an appointment. I would say that. I went to an appointment, and at the appointment I was new. I've never been there before. I was recommended by a friend. I went to the appointment, and I met with the person that I went to go see, and her assistant came in. We chatted up. I told her I love her ring. Her wedding ring was beautiful. We chatted up for a little bit. Then the person who I came to see, she walked in, and she's like, "Hey," she just doing the formalities. There's no energy source with her. There's no vibration. There's nothing there. It just, so I called my girlfriend. I said, "Hey, I thank you for recommending me to this person, very highly educated woman." But I said, I don't know if I'm going back. I was like, I don't know if I'm going back. I don't know if I'm going back. And let me tell you something, because what they were charging me was less than I was being charged before for the thing I wanted done. So it was good for me financially, but just the energy of this person made me say, I don't think they can get my money anymore. So I'm asking you this question. How much people are repelling from you because you have not discovered yet until you got this video that money follow energy. Now, I'm not telling you to be like me. I'm not telling you to be energetic and high and vibrant. That's not what I'm telling you to do. That's not what I give. Because if it's not you, then it's not you. Then you need to pick the area of business that's more of your vibration. But if I'm explaining to you, wealth follows energy. When you when when I'm in my college days and we were hitting them clubs, honey, in my college days, and we Friday night and Saturday night, we were going out there to turn up the energy, right? We all week we're in school, in the books, taking tests, taking exam. So when this Friday and Saturday, baby, it's time to let loose, right? So so they could have all our money at the club, right? Because they could have all our money at the club because that was a place where our energy could go up higher, with music could shift our feelings and however we feel at that moment. So that's a place that allow us to walk in our energy, like, be the Beyonce of the song that comes on in the Independent, who run the world, girls, all that jazz, right? That's an example of money follows energy, and money works with high vibration. So the reason why you're probably following the people that you're following is because they're always on high vibration. They're always happy. They're always speaking positive. They're always energetic. They're always a go-getter. I love listening to Eric Thomas speak. I love listening to Myron speak. I love Tony Robbins, like high energy people. So no wonder they're successful. It's not about just the strategies and system, but the principle of wealth loves high energy. The principle of that makes sense to say the person that you're following, the reason why they're successful is because they have high energy. They're not in this low vibration. They don't operate in mediocre. They operate in high energy. So what are you saying, Sherry? I'm saying if you learn how to adapt just that principle, if you learn to adapt just the knowledge of that high energy into your life and into your business, if you just learn how to shift to the higher vibration, the higher way of thinking, the higher way of belief. Money follow energy. If you are high value thinker, high value person, it guarantees you, not maybe, and I wrote my notes here, guarantees you to build wealth. Therefore, it's important to become aware of your energy. It's so important to become aware of your energy. Whenever I'm getting ready to speak or whenever I'm getting ready to do something, normally, the last time I spoke was at an event in Dallas. And I knew I was going to speak that day. So I stayed in my room a little bit, getting my energy right before I get on the stage. And the reason I do that, because I don't have to pull from the audience energy. So if the audience is low vibration, that has nothing to do with me because I came on high, right? So I didn't allow exterior to affect me. I adjust, and then the world has to adjust based on how I adjust it, right? Because you're a leader. Same thing for you. You're a leader, right? Are you a thermostat or you're a thermometer? Which are you adjusting to the world or the world adjusting to you? And when I understand that thought, that's when everything in my life changed. Everything in my life changed. By simply understanding that wealth is measured in high energy. Wealth has a need for speed and has a need for energy. So the more high value you think, the more positive you are, the more energetic you are about chasing your dreams, not people, but your dreams, the more guarantee you have in creating wealth. The more guarantee you have when you're surrounded with love and high energy and positive thought, not negative, when you're in a higher vibration. So why am I telling you this as I wrap this up? We have a conference that's coming up. I don't know when you're going to be listening to this, but we have a conference that's coming up in Florida. And one of the things I always make sure in my conference, in the midst of the conference, I always make sure it's filled with love and energy and loving people feel welcomed. They feel at home, right? They feel at home. They feel like I can talk to this person. I can relate to this person. We can become longtime friends. I used to tell people all the time, when people come to Unleashing Your Inner CEO, our conference, one of the things I always make sure that they come to say, my job to measure if I do a good job is when somebody say, hey, I met Tina, and I guess where? I met Tina at Sherry's conference. That is so beautiful for me. That is just so beautiful. Tina paid her money. You paid your money. Y'all came. Y'all became lasting friends because of that conference. That's that. Listen, it's the best feeling in the world. If you want that feeling, matter of fact, shameless plug, we have the conference link inside of the chat, inside of our description. So make sure you grab it. Unleashing Your Inner CEO conference. But if, as I leave here with you, I want you to take away these things. Number one, wealth is part of pain. I heard Myron say that, and I think that's just so powerful. But wealth is measured in high energy. So when somebody say to me, I just love being around her energy, that's telling me there's something that I'm giving off. And in order for you to give off that high energy, because you can't fake it. If you don't have it, you just don't have it. That if you don't have it, it tells me you're not in communities that birth that, which is where Unleashing Your Inner CEO comes in, which is where coaching and mastermind and coaching programs come in. Because if you don't feel that, you got to get around the vibration of where that is happening. And the momentum of that will make you jump out your chair and say, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. There are times people say, I come to your challenge and I leave and I'm watching people who came to my last challenge that I hosted last month, and they're on fire. They're on fire. And I'm like, oh, she has been pressing gas ever since. Whether they coach with me or whether they say yes to the offer or not, I'm just watching them on social media. I'm like, I'm so proud. I'm just so proud that the challenge, the 5-day challenge, allow them to be able to walk in their own high vibration energy. Now, to keep that momentum, let's don't get it twisted. You still need a community, because you can only keep that momentum for so long. You can only keep that momentum on your own for so long. So your community help that momentum of high energy to burn. That movement, that momentum to go to like they said, the law of motion. An object will stay in motion. An object, as in you, will stay in motion until it's acted upon by outside force. And the only way to get back in motion when it's acted upon is something need to blaze that, whether it's a conversation, whether it's an event, all of that. So now that you know the secret to building wealth is high energy, how will you apply this? Comment below and let me know. Let me know.